Good morning.
Good
How are you,
morning.
Celeste?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jordan?
I'm doing all right. I've been up against this cold and this respiratory stuff, um, but forging ahead, being obedient, doing what I know needs done next. And sure enough, this morning I wake up with more voice than I have in over a week, and
Yeah,
here we are.
here we are. I know it's super exciting. I'm glad that you are feeling better. I know that it's been a long journey. Um, so I'm happy that you are, yeah, you're feeling well. So
So long and yet so short at the same time, because it's still amazing to me that we met exactly a month ago. Like, it's
yeah,
been 1 month,
yeah,
and
it's been 1 month, and that's that's God to me. Like the where, yeah, you just
Mhm.
know when you know. And I will tell you too, and I think that we'll probably get into this a little bit. You know when you know, but then there's those um that past, right, Jordan? Like where it's like you know that you're supposed to do something with this person, or you're like this person's significant in your life, if it's for a season, for a season, but if it's for a lifetime, it's for a lifetime, and you're just like on that journey. But there's been a lot of hurt in my past, and I think that you're the same, where we let somebody in, and then it's like, wait, what just happened? And I just let that person in. And like, even, and we'll probably get into this because this is coming out. We've already had to walk through something that was triggering for me, and it wasn't anything you did or anyone else did, but it's like God's like, do you have my yes? And are you willing to put in not just the work, because we worked, but the emotional investment, even if, right? And so, anyways, it's been a journey,
Yeah.
to say the least, and I'm so thankful to be on it with you. Yeah. So,
Mhm. So 1 month ago, we met in person at the Scale Stability Summit and realized shortly thereafter that
the
the
next
Soul
day,
Sister project
yes,
was something that I was supposed to be a part of, and, but it's something that's been going on with you for a long time. So tell me a
yeah.
little bit about the Soul Sister project and just recap history real short for me.
Yeah, yeah, I'll try. Yes, and not try. I will keep it short. So the Soul Sister Project was a Facebook group that I founded in 2020. I was in the network marketing. If you go, if you're just coming to like know me, if you go to my personal Facebook page, you can read all about how I used network marketing. I knew I was always called to social media, but I'd use network marketing as that like belonging, like I needed belonging somewhere. Anyway, so in 2020, I was growing a team. I'd gone from zero in March. I had signed up in March right before the world shut down, and went from zero to top of the US market by September. And so that's what we did, though. Like I could see that there's this boundary for people to get on their own personal pages to like share. So I founded that group. I told them to invite all of their friends, their family, and that I taught them attraction marketing, which is now known as personal branding. Like it's I call it purposeful though, because it's completely different than attraction marketing now. But essentially, that's what it started as, and now it's a full blown movement. I have a huge vision. It shut down pretty quickly after it. The Facebook group's still there, but the mission of the first part of it shut down pretty quickly after it started. We lost steam, but within 6 weeks, at the beginning, we doubled in size. We double promoted, and then everything kind of fell apart. But I saw big things for it, and I knew the name was anointed. And I held on to that some, but I also tried to give it away a lot. So, um when I left Scale with Stability, God really didn't give me any other choice than to look at the Soul Sister project as it. I couldn't pursue anything else anymore. And and big things happened in those three those first 3 weeks that he brought us together. So it's not just us two. There's two more women, but when he brought us together, it was like the vision had the framework finally. And so and not just the framework, like Jordan, you have a way of shining the light on the treasure you didn't even know you had, kind of thing. I hope that puts it in perspective for some. But yeah, so the Soul Sister Project, it's a movement, and I don't know exactly what that looks like right now, but I have big visions for it in the future, and I know where it's going. So yeah.
Mhm.
I don't that
Yeah.
was long story short or short story long, I
Short
don't know.
story long, either way. Now we have more of an idea of kind of where we're starting, with this reframe, this daily reframe that we're doing all this week. Um, and part of the reason that I invited Celeste to be a part of this daily reframe in public is because we've had such an intense relationship this past month of just like talking every single day
Yeah.
and working on stuff together in collaborations every single day. But part of it was that I knew that she would be reliable because I saw her history of going live every single day without fail. And I knew I needed a buddy on that journey. And when I was thinking about going live every day, I knew that what I wanted to show, the value that I wanted to bring to these lives, I kept coming back to what happens when I just walk with another sister who's an entrepreneur
Yeah.
and the conversations that flow out of that. We always walk away with something reframed, a new perspective, something that shifts, that allows us to stop procrastinating, to stop feeling stuck, to actually know that next step. Because so often we have the big picture, right? You've said it's since 2020 that you've known that the Soul Sister Project is a thing.
Yes.
But what thing?
Yeah, yeah.
And so having that big vision of knowing that's where I'm headed, but I have no idea how to get past that mountain. Do I go around it? Do I go through it? Do I go over it?
I was
Um,
kicking down doors and taking all the courses and thinking, like, eventually that this thing would fit in a box or it would finally find the like that well, it's a square peg. We're just gonna call the Soul Sister Project the square peg, would finally find that square hole, and all along, it was the journey he wanted to take me on, right? But
mhm,
yeah, and it's not ethereal anymore. He's put into place these things and these people and Jordan, and we've got Sarah and Andrea, but Jordan, she can dig that out because for one thing, Jordan's like, you go through the little, the not the little, the file, like the file system of your brain, and you're like, oh, here, let me explain this in real terms for you that you've experienced for years. And it's like, oh my gosh. And there's so much God in it. Like there's so much God. I've been talking a lot with Jordan about this sacred geometry where it's simple shapes, but when they are put together, it forms this like intricate pattern and not in a linear way. It's always in 3D in my head. And that was kind of I saw linear with the Soul Sister project until
mhm,
we met. Like I was really ready to just put it to the side. I had my team like building me other websites and we were going to go a different route. I even tried to trademark something
mhm.
away from the Soul Sister project and um yeah, it's a reframe. That's Jordan, that's what it is. It's a reframe. Yeah.
Yeah. The image that keeps coming back to my mind is that scene in Lord of the Rings when they're looking for the door in the mountain, and they know that they're going to go through the mountain.
Yeah.
They've set their course. They know there's a door there somewhere, and they find it under moonlight. So that's like the first step, is they have
Yeah.
to recognize that it's not just going to be an obvious door, it's going to be a dwarf door. And and then they have, excuse me,
It's real life.
and
It's real
yeah, and then they have the inscription on it says something like "say friend and enter," but it's not that it's not that obvious. I'm giving away the answer,
Yeah.
right? Speak
Yeah.
friend. It's speak friend and enter. And so the big wizard is trying to come up with all the magic words he can conjure from his thousands of years of memory, and they're just waiting and waiting, and nothing's working. And then the simple thought comes up, and he walks up and he goes, "Speak friend." "What's the word for friend?" And they say it in that language, and he just says the word friend, and the door's open. And so it's that moment that I look for. I'm listening to everything going on. I'm absorbing everything going on in a conversation. And what's the word for friend? That's the question that I'm always looking for when I'm looking for a reframe. So, Celeste, let's talk about where you're at right now. This is, it's kind of first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
You're going to go into doing stuff throughout the rest of the day. Is there anything that's coming up for you today where you're like, well, I know I've got this task on my list, but I don't feel like doing it, or I don't know how to do it? Just that, that sense you get when you
Yeah.
have that task on your
Sure do.
to-do list and you're like, okay, got to do it, but something's not right. Is there anything like that that's going on for you right now?
So, I won't say today. So today, my daughter graduated yesterday. Yay! But we're having her party today. So it's just life stuff
It's
today. But
Saturday.
I will tell you that and I've told you this over the phone, but I woke up. Okay, let's talk about last week, right? Or the week before last. So we had this amazing launch. It solidified a lot of things in the Soul Sister project and the mentors inside the Soul Sister project. It solidified some framework, and like it breathed life into it as we walked those 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks into this launch. That was miraculous, let's just say. And then it was like wah, 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 after, and it was like full steam ahead, and then it's like, Be still and wait." And that's what I heard, like, "Be still and know I'm God," in that. And I thought, "Okay, God, you're gonna bring in the mentor, I mean, the members of the Soul Project, like, we're opening it up, where, wow, we have this, like, really amazing thing. It's backed by data and science, and it only came from you because I don't think like that." Um, and I was like, "Okay." And then every time I got on the phone with somebody that wanted to pursue that, they wanted to learn about it, it was like a hard stop for this, like, from the Holy Spirit. And when I got up on, oh my gosh, I have a piece of hair on my lip. It's live, guys. It's live.
It's real
Uh,
life, doing it live.
it is real life, and it is live. I've learned to go with the flow over those 100 days, or I had 160 some odd. But anyways, so I woke up, I think it might have been Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. God said, "If you build it, they will come." And I'm like, am I Kevin Costner now? Like, are you kidding me? But he likes to speak to me like that because my husband talks like that. And so it helps not only for me to hear him simply and plainly, but it helps me to be able to actually hear my husband when he's also speaking from that place of spirit in him, right? And so, if you build it, they will come. And I'm thinking, what does that mean? Well, for us, it means we start doing the program, whether we have members or not in it, right? Um, and the funny thing is when I was like, okay, I hear you. I sent out I sent out the bat signal to the soul sisters. I sent out the like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Are y'all in? And we got yeses from everybody. And then as soon as I did that, floodgates opened in my own personal brand. And I was like, oh, I see you, God. Because I've been hiding behind the Soul Sister Project. I've been hiding behind the clients. I've been hiding behind the marketing agency that shut down almost instantaneously when I left Arkansas. No money coming in, trusting that he's going to find, or like something's going to pay even my employees, like all of that. And when I said, okay, I'm all in, are y'all? It was like, even if they're not, will you? And here's the thing too, Jordan, this plays into it right here because you know what? Starting next week or June 2nd or whatever, we had committed to 8 a.m.s with just whoever shows up, right? Like we don't have any members, but we've got the Soul Sisters and we're going to do it as a pure mastermind until it takes shape. And it takes commitment, but what it really takes is resilience. And that's what I've learned through walking the 100 days of going live out, walking this really rough path with the Soul Sister Project, like doing those things. But if you build it, they will come. And guess what? I'm supposed to be in Dallas that entire first week. And it's like, even if, when and if you're starting to, so sorry, starting to,
Doing it real, doing it live.
wow, it is like, it's been a push this morning too.
Yeah.
Um, even as you are pursuing what I'm calling you to, it will build the Soul Sister Project, but you still have to be a part of the Soul Sister Project.
Mhm.
And that's God. And he can take our simple yes to 1 hour a day, building something with others, right? And it's not necessarily that we're building the Soul Sister Project. No, we're coming together to build our personal brands that God's calling us to. And that's what we're called to do for other women. And
Yeah.
it's beautiful that we're walking that out together. And I really think quickly with each other, like there will be more coming in that see the value in what not only the mentors have to give, but just that accountability, just like you said. And
Mhm.
and so no, I don't have anything for today, but I see why we're doing this in my own personal brand,
Mhm.
in my own personal life, because I need this.
Yeah. I've for my part in being a part of the Soul Sister Project and saying yes to the June 2nd start, I was real hesitant. I was real hesitant to commit to something else, especially if it wasn't going to be immediately income generating and just looking at priorities, financially, time-wise. I've got kids, and so what
Yeah.
can I actually commit to? Um, and so I was real, real hesitant until you came with that clear, if you build it, they will come vision and said, this is what it would look like. And I was able to look at that and go, yeah, I'm in. Because it it removed the binary mindset of who's bringing the value and who's receiving the value.
Yeah.
And with this peer mastermind kind of format, we're all bringing the value and we're all receiving the value. And so then the invitation for anyone else who steps into that is the same. There's an expectation of bringing your brand and bringing yourself and being real and raw enough
Yes.
to actually expose these things. Because I know Sarah and I have talked about being in like coaching programs and things and being hesitant to even speak up and ask questions because you're not really sure how the dynamic is. And for here, it's a community. We're looking to each other constantly. And then the power hours, what is the core of it. And I'm like, yes, I need that because it's co-working, it's sitting down and just doing the thing, and with the other people doing the thing right at the same time, and we're checking in with each other. That aspect of accountability and time blocking, all of that is stuff that I've been craving and is a lot easier to stick to when you've got somebody else by your side.
Yeah, and do you know, I've been overcomplicating the Soul Sister project for so long that that's exactly how we started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like that's how I grew that network marketing business from 0 to top of the US market, was through these power hours. It was through, pure mastermind. It was through just sharing. It was just, it's amazing how it circles back. But oh man, that journey, I am not the same person I was 5 years ago, obviously, but that journey has humbled and broken off a lot of things that I thought had to be in place for whatever, right? Or try to find the square hole for the square peg. It's like it's not even a peg, Celeste, just it's a
That is
living
the
pig,
exact
right?
phrase that just popped into my head was, "It's not a peg, why are you trying to jam it in a hole?"
Not a peg, yeah. But we like to, in the digital marketing, in the digital world, in the online world, we think containers and we think,
Mhm,
stacks. And I'm like, but God's given me sacred geometry
mhm. Yes.
and it looks different.
So for today, I wanna keep these to under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So every morning, we're gonna be meeting here like this. Today, we've laid a foundation of who we even are, what the context is, so that those who are tuning in can understand and have a baseline. And each morning will come, and I've already got my question for tomorrow for you to start this conversation
Oh,
again, to pick it up where
yeah.
we've left off and to move it forward. Because looking for that reframe is where are we going from here? What is that next step? What
Mhm.
is that takeaway? And so this morning, well, actually, the takeaway for you that I'm getting is that be still. Just that confirmation of what you received about being still. And today is Saturday, and your daughter's graduated, and you have this time where it doesn't have to be hustle
Right.
constantly. And so we can establish the foundation of this first step of the reframe as be still.
Do you understand how much God is in that, Jordan?
Oh yeah.
Because the day ends, like when we think the day ends, it's actually the beginning. Your day starts with rest.
Mhm.
Because see,
Mhm.
our days are actually, he said, um, what was it? I
Evening
don't
and
even remember.
morning.
Yes,
In Genesis,
evening
he
and morning.
establishes it.
And then I've also been treating, Saturdays as my Sabbath, and so,
Mhm.
it's no coincidence that he put this on your heart, that we started just, I mean, as soon as you were there, and, like, you're like, "Let's start it now," and you knew you could rely on me because I am that person, but I haven't always been that person, Jordan.
Hmm.
And so, it's amazing. Start with rest. Start
Mhm.
there. Quit trying the
Mhm.
hustle. Start with rest, be still, and then reframe, right?
Yep.
Um, and even in that, it's reframing. It's a different mindset to come from a place of calm rest. We have about 5 minutes, and
We
I
do,
don't
and
want
I'm
to
fine to
go
use it.
over. Jordan, I would love for you to just share from your heart. What was it? What was it that how did we get here, Jordan? Like, what are you seeing? And you start from rest too, right?
Yeah.
you're held, you're seen, you're heard, and you were validated in this too, because I mean, you were like, boom, 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 8 a.m. And I was like, already know, let's do this. So, talk to us about what is on your heart and how God is using this in your life.
Yeah. Um, well, for the daily reframe specifically, because I've shared a little bit about being part of the Soul Sister Project, so I'll just focus on the daily reframe here.
Yes, please.
And
That's what
the
yeah.
reason that for every day this week, we're counting down to my husband and I's birthday week. So our birthdays are a week apart, and we're celebrating that week together. And counting down to that rest that we're going to get together through a wonderful gift from my parents who are going to be taking care of our children. And
That is super
so,
exciting. It really
yes,
is.
it's going to be some amazing rest and refreshment. Knowing my husband and I will be doing a lot of work because that's how we engage and rejuvenate
Yeah.
and get energy too. So it's going to be a wonderful week. But counting down to that, my husband and I yesterday were just looking and saying, "Okay, God, what is this week leading up to it?" And one of the things that came up was this reframe because, um, like I alluded to, walking with other women entrepreneurs, sometimes literally walking the neighborhood has been this time where these reframes have come up, just simply walking together. It's often not something that we start the call with. You've seen the arc of this call, even though it was a mixture of reframe and introduction. You still see the arc. We start somewhere and we end up in a place where we didn't necessarily expect or intend. Sometimes it's come about when I've been spending some time with someone who's feeling really stuck, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about it." It's like, "Fine, yeah, I'm here just to hang out. Let's talk about our kids. Let's not talk about anything and just take a walk. Let's talk about the weather, the rain, what have you." And somehow, it always comes out. What it is that's that block, it always comes into the conversation, and then there's a shift, there's a reframe, and there's a weight lifted.
Mhm.
And so you and I had a conversation about that when I did it for you. And there was a conversation when that happened. Something came up and there was a reframe, and it was like, "Oh, okay." And you asked me, "Do you offer this? Is this an offer? Do you want to make this an offer that you sell? It's so valuable. It's not quite coaching. It's not therapy. It's something else entirely." Um, and I have really felt over the years and in that conversation as well that it's not really something that I can put a dollar amount and a structure and a time limit and all of these things on, often because you can't schedule it. You can't
Right.
schedule when you need a reframe.
Yeah.
And so, um, there is something to say for consistency. So you and I are gonna just reframe every day because there's always something to reframe, whether
Oh,
it's
there's
small or
always
large.
something.
There's
Yeah,
always
but
something. So there
yes.
is that, but at the same time, it's kinda something that comes up. So for this next week, I have some time, and so I've put, my calendar available for other people who are craving that reframe. If something in today or in future reframes when you're tuning in live resonates and you're like, I need something like that, you can book a time on my calendar. There's not a dollar amount set to it, but I also recognize that it's very, very valuable, especially if you have a business and it's going to get you past a block so that money starts flowing through your business again, or better, or more effectively, or more. And so that's valuable, and my time is valuable. So that's why I don't offer this all the time, because I do need to protect my time and have other people protect it as well. So I get very hesitant to give anything away for free, especially if it involves my time, because people who pay attention.
Yeah.
So if you do book a time, you will receive an invitation after the reframe is over to reflect and think on that reframe and how it impacted you and be able to give back into that. Um, I will be asking you basically two questions. And the first one is how uh, how how did this reframe affect you? Like what is the value that you could put on that? What's a number? Numbers can be kind of arbitrary, but they also are linear. So, we use scales of 1 to 10 all the time. So let's say on a scale of 1 to 1,000, where did this fall? Right?
Right. Mine's
And
1,000 today. It released me from even thinking I had to do anything business. So thank you, Jordan.
Yeah. Yes. And so, just for communication purposes and to solidify in your mind what you're actually walking away with, put a number to that. And then the second question is, what dollar amount do you want to attach to that to solidify it for you and for me? And there's a pay what you want link. And
Yeah.
so you can support the continuation of this vision through that, as well as really solidify it for yourself. Because investing time and investing money really does help to solidify transformations, reframes,
Well,
and steps forward.
and it's an energy. You know,
Mhm.
money is not, it's not, it's an
Not all
energy.
that.
It's a
Yeah.
flow. Yeah, and you can bless someone by exchanging that energy. And I know we need to like wrap it up, but can
Yeah,
I
you're
just
good.
like
Yes.
y'all, Jordan does protect her time. She protects her energy. In a way that I've never seen as far as boundaries, especially, and it's not that your age has anything to do with it, but at your age, for me, like when I was that age, I had no idea how to do that. And it's beautiful to watch because Jordan does absolutely. But with her opening this up this week, y'all, you will be blessed. You will be blessed because I know Holy Spirit's all over it when she called me. And so I want to encourage you if you feel that call, that nudge, that um, I feel it in my chest when the Holy Spirit's like, doing something. Sometimes it's like this, like it's poke, 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 poke. If you feel that from your spirit, get on those calls. Get on that call because I can guarantee you it will. I can guarantee you because Holy Spirit is all over it, and Jordan has a way. Woo, she has a way of simplifying things that you overcomplicate. Um, that trajectory, like it's time. It's time to start orbiting towards something, and it doesn't have to be entirely different, but it might just be this small pivot that needs to happen to get to that place where you're like, 5 years. And it finally makes sense. He gave me all of the things in the beginning of the Soul Sister Project,
Mhm.
for the Soul Sister Project in 2025. But it wasn't until it was all the pieces that he was ready that it came
Mhm.
together. But a lot of it was Jordan and asking the questions, wanting the framework, wanting the reframe in your head, and really digging deep. And you have a way of doing that. So I
Mhm.
encourage anyone this week to get on that call.
Yeah. I like you were just saying, this is why we call it a reframe, not a pivot or a transformation or what have you, is because
Yeah.
so often, almost all the time, it's something that you already have, you already know. And it's just pulling away the cobwebs and the weeds and all the things that you've tried to add, like you said,
Yes.
from the courses and the frameworks and the everything. There are patterns
Yeah.
that those frameworks are there for a reason. But I mean, I'm sure we'll get into this week. I'll
No,
wrap this
yeah,
up.
and
But
I appreciate this. I do. I so appreciate when Jordan does this because see, in my mind, I hear words like pivot and orbit and frameworks and it is so organic for you.
yeah,
And it reframes and it not just knocks away like the cobwebs. No, it like when you light a cobweb on fire, it goes
yeah,
and it's no longer
yeah,
there's no longer anything to there's nothing to clean up. There's nothing left. And that's what happens is this and that's like you can't go back to that cobweb. It doesn't exist anymore. It is a
yep,
reframe.
yeah. All right, so we'll see you here
Yep.
again tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central Time. That's 9 Eastern. Um, and we'll be back every day this week, just taking the next step with Celeste, and taking the next step to reframe.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.